welcome back to the channel. So as you can see, I'm actually standing close to the mic this time because it's been pretty windy today. We'll make sure you guys get good audio in this video. But right now I have this Mustang GT, and you can see this one has some modifications, and that is the thing about Mustangs. You know, people can individualize them. They can customize them, their own wheels, their own exhaust. And once people get into those customizations, you're not going to see really two Mustangs really exactly alike, because there's a broad spectrum of options and, you know, things you can do to it to set yourself apart. Driving this car, it was just extremely fun. You know, loud exhaust, it just rumbles, and you know, it gives me I just want to be like this. I just want to rev it at stoplights because this car, it just sounds so awesome, you know, with this Roush exhaust. But this is a 2014 GT, and you can see here, this is the premium. So this one is well equipped. It has the glass top and the navigation system. It's in this deep impact blue with the charcoal black leather. This one's in a 6-speed manual, has the, I believe this is the track package. It has the Brembo brakes, has the 373 rear end on this car. Because with this rear end, I could tell because the gearing on this car is really close, but it gives it a lot of fun because you're constantly shifting, and that's fun. You know, I want to watch my Civic SI video where I talked about shifting, and you know, sometimes that's a lot of fun to do, and you know, you gotta rev the car out instead of having this, you know, two long gear ratios and then you're over 100 miles an hour. At least this one you can kind of run through the gears a little bit and have a little fun. So let's take a little walk around. I'll go over some exterior bits. You can see here it's got high intensity discharge headlights, have the accent lighting. This has been something that they've done in, I believe, 2013 when Ford added the LED accent lightings. They're not daytime running lights, but they're just accent lights. They just kind of illuminate softly during the day. Got the integrated fog lights in the grille. This one has additional light here underneath, but this is not a factory, this is an actual add-on. Move around back, you can see that they removed the centerpiece where it says, you know, GT. So all you have is just the black panel. You have the backup camera. Since you do have the navigation, you get the full screen for backup camera, and it's got park sensors. And I'll show that later in the video how this stuff works. You know, to see the Roush exhaust. It's got the window louvers over here. So definitely a lot of different mods on this car. And the tires on this car are the 275 35 20s in the front, and it's got a beefy 305 30 20 in the rear. So it really has a really mean stance on this car just from the back with those wide tires. And because they stick out, you know, it's essential to have some type of mud flap in here to protect this from getting, you know, obviously a lot of rock and road debris and sling. Show you the key. Traditional key, it's not a smart key. Mustang didn't start putting that in until the 2015 Mustangs, where you can get the smart key access, you know, built-in remote start, you know, all those features. So to lock it, you press once, you hear it lock. There's a light flash. Press it again, you get a confirmation from the horn. Okay. And lock. Trunk, double tap, and it opens the trunk. So you can see here, you got the aluminum racing pedals. You have automatic headlights with the fog light. Your mirror controls are actually up here, and the windows are automatically up and down. Power locks. Have a little bit of leather insert here, kind of a hard plastic on the top of the doors. This car does have the upgraded shaker audio system, which has a big subwoofer in the trunk that takes a little bit of room. I'll show you that a little bit later. Heavy garage home link up top on the visor. Got 3 different settings, you know, typical home link. Looks like aftermarket LED lights here. They could be factory, but they appear aftermarket to me. And like I said, this has a glass top, so looks like, get to slide this shade back, and really big. I mean, this gives you kind of an open air feeling. This does not open, but something I've never seen in the Mustang GT of this generation. Like I said, it gives you something different. You obviously have a shade to keep it closed during hot days or more privacy. Have your audio control. This has Microsoft Sync. Rebel intermittent wipers, no ring sensing. I wouldn't expect that in this car. So moving here, you have Glove box, it's not damped at all. I wouldn't expect anything different. 12-volt outlet up here. I mean, obviously I put it up here because some people with these cars only need motor radar detectors, and see, this one does have it. Obviously it's hardwired. So putting the key ignition, push the clutch in. Just a nice rumble.
X band, K band, KA band, laser, GPS connected.
Looks like you have your maps, so you can do a full screen map. And zooming looks like you'll be here. You have different options to, I guess you pick your zoom. You can do a 25-mile radius. You have dual zone automatic climate control, so passenger can set their climate control as well. Not the most intuitive system here, but for someone who wants a hands-free experience without trying to use their mobile phone, this would be a good alternative. Like I said, this is rare. You don't see these a lot in this generation of Mustangs. You have a climate screen, so instead of using these controls here, you can do it here. And also, the only way to sync the climate back together would be to go to the screen and take off the dual. And there's an option for max AC to hit that max if you need that as well. There's a couple little additional options into the screen which you don't get actually out here. But this car does have the XM radio, so we can cycle through here. So you do have XM radio, and the mirror. Since there's no blind spot monitor, you do get a convex mirror in the corner to give you more of a angle from your blind spot. There's on the driver's side and passenger side. Now I'm gonna cover the backup camera, and to go in reverse with this car, you press down on the shifter, engage reverse. You have guidance lines. Unfortunately, they don't turn when you turn the wheel, but you do have guidance markers, and you have a parking sensor as well. So when you back up, you'll hear the sensors and almost know if it's going to detect this curb or not. It does not. I'll pull forward a little bit. Oh, crap. That was third, not first. Stalled it. Okay. Alright, so it picked up a little bit of the curb. So traction right now is off, because turn it now is on. Traction off. Now when you turn off the traction, you're able to spin the wheels. It just is able. There's a system in here that still keeps you from spinning the car completely around. So it's a safety net, so you can still break traction. But if you try to get fishtailing, it can bring it back in and keep it from going all the way around. Pressing and holding this all the way off. If I just keep pressing this button, there you go. Advanced track off. Now you're on your own. So guys, be careful you do that. Don't feed into the memes out there where you guys are wrecking at the cars and coffee, leaving the car shows. Be careful. And inside here, there's right now you got the fuel economy displayed, but there's also apps. So you can actually have an app. You can see 0 to 60 or 60 to 0 and then 100 to 0. Obviously you can't do that really on the street, so it's, like I said, it's got a disclaimer up there, track use only. Got an acceleration timer, so you got the 0 to 60, 0 to 100, and an eighth of a mile, quarter mile. So you have a lot of different toys here to play with. The newer Mustangs, 2015 and up, have the line lock, which means that you can actually do a burnout and it'll automatically hold the front wheels in place by locking them, and you don't have to do that brake gas thing. Here you got two cup holders. You have a 12-volt outlet back here, and you have a USB and auxiliary, looks like, inside the console. So let's take a look at the front leg room here. Here's the clutch. Got a giant, feels like a giant steering wheel. Very, very retro feel in this car. With even the font on the gauges kind of gives it that old school Mustang look. It's like there's no telescope, but you can still tilt the steering wheel, and power front seats because this is a premium. And let's see, backrest, lumbar support. Okay, I fit pretty good back here. The seats are very very comfortable, just to sit in the kind of concave, hold your butt in here. The headroom is limited. I am 5'8", and my head is almost touching the glass back here. But you can see I'm limited, and I actually can feel the heat coming in from the glass. So I won't want to spend a lot of time back here. With this subwoofer here, you're probably looking at the 10, because it doesn't seem very deep. But obviously I'll do a luggage test, and we can verify exactly how many pieces of luggage can actually fit in this trunk. Two full-size suitcases and possibly one small backpack, or if you can fit a carry-on. I think the limiting factor would be here. Trunk is set a little bit deeper in the front. So you can see you got this monster. This is a Coyote, what they call it, a Coyote 5.0 V8. And you can see that got the aluminum strut tower bar. It's part of the track package. And this car pumps out 420 horsepower at just 6,500 RPM. So just pretty high revving up there, especially for muscle cars. 390 pound-feet of torque at 42, around 4,200 RPM. Car is just, like I said, it's you have to drive one to really see how, if it sucks you in, you makes you want a V8 because of this, the sound, and just it gives you that muscle car feeling. I'm not a muscle car fan by any means, but I can definitely see why people who are, why they like them. This big engine here, and it's something that now that they've been doing for a while with this 5.0 performs really well. So we'll get out later and we will show the performance. Turn signal is very retro, very old-fashioned sounding with the slow blinking turn signal. I'm sure you're just doing this now because of the sequential turn signal, but it just has a very old sound to it. So much noise, but I like it. It's like, hey everybody, look at me. Engine's so heavy feeling, just you really, there's no really flipping the throttle there, a little more footwork. These close gearing, it really sharpens the driving experience. In driving this car, I can definitely see the Mustang persona, that they have, because I easily fed into it. I mean, I just wanted to,
run in third gear during the driving. I wanted to downshift. I wanted to make all this noise everywhere I went. You know, stoplights, you know, revving it. I can see definitely why there's a persona exists. It's with the character. But it's fun. I can't complain. This car doesn't inspire a lot of fast driving, but it does make you kind of want to run the gears out, you know, rev the 4,000 RPM before you shift just to hear the engine, and just downshift to hear the burbles and, you know, the pops out the exhaust.
Launch it. Press and hold traction button. I'm gonna turn off advanced track as well. I'm gonna rev it around 2,000 RPM. Not gonna do anything crazy. Don't want to buy the older tires. 25 RPM. Pull off like a stoplight and just floor it. Disappointing. I need more seat time with this car to really figure it out, the right RPM, the right start, because I tried to just baby it, pull off, and even going to second, the car just wanted to fishtail it, break loose it. But I'm sure this car is capable with the right driver. Obviously, I'm not the right driver, but you'll see maybe when you know, say this one with this, where you stick your tires and you know, the right RPM, I think, can get it nailed to the claim. What I think they're saying 4.7 0 to 60. And I did an embarrassing 6.5 the first time. Second time I didn't start the clock, so still, car's fun. Corner, it felt like I had to back off a little bit because the back end even hit the bumps. It felt like it just wanted to just step out, and if you're not ready for it, you could find yourself backwards, you know, into a tree. But that's not what this car is built for. It's not built for a cornering machine. I mean, that's what the newer GT 350s are for. So this is made for, you know, occasional corners. Straight line. I wouldn't mean, I'm sure the right mods, the right suspension mods, you probably maybe get it close to a track, or maybe, you know, tune this down to where you want. Alright guys, that's good for this review. If you're new to this video, if you're new to this channel, be sure to subscribe. And if you're a subscriber, you know, click the notification bell to see more videos. Thanks again for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. I really appreciate all the subscribers I have, and